My name is Kim Peterson, and I'm actually a doctor of chiropractic. I graduated in 1997 from Life University, and as far as Pangu goes, I've been practicing Qigong since 2001. I got introduced from it a little from my mother, and also I was working with Paul Fraser, and I started doing Pangu Shengong. I remember I was doing meditation before and shifted and started doing the moving form of Qigong. And I must say, when I first started, I remember, it actually felt kind of like long and a little boring. And the reason I bring that up is because there was a transformation and a shift. All of a sudden, I think my energy raised high enough, and then from then on, probably took about 2 months that I couldn't get enough of it, and I do a lot of Qigong in my life, and I know that I'm really energy sensitive, so I had an actually hard time walking down malls and being, around people, and it was just, much harder for me. It seemed like things would happen before I started doing Qigong, attracting more negative energy and people, and a lot more negative events would happen. And when I started doing Qigong, after a while, all that stuff just shifted. I've noticed many things in my life personally, as far as for myself, for my family. What I've noticed, because I've been doing it for about 10 years now, and what I've noticed is that the more Qigong I do, the more good things happen in my life. The higher my energy is raised. As far as in my practice, I see a lot of people and adjust a lot of people, and when I decide to do more forms of the Qigong, I start getting busier, and I just, the phone starts ringing and patients start coming really out of the blue. They come from all over, and this is really one of the most disciplined things that I've ever done. I'll do it as long as I'm, a human being. I find that I couldn't even stop if I wanted to, because I would see my life crumbling as I know it. And what I mean by that is my life used to be different, and I have a 3-year-old right now, a 7-year-old right now, and I have a really busy practice and a husband, and it takes a lot of energy to do all that. I started having kids when I was later in life, so I have a 3-year-old right now, and I'm 46 years old. And what I find that when I miss a day somehow, if my child wakes up early or whatever, that day isn't quite as good, and I can't really miss a whole lot because I'm living at a different energy level than I used to. And so for me to keep my my life as I know it, I know that there's a certain amount of Qigongs I need to do, and if I want to have more things come into my life, that I do more Qigongs. I teach this to my patients, a bunch of my patients, and they're very positive about it. I tell people that I think need it in their life, and that are receptive to it, and some people. I teach it and they do it a little bit. Some people go all the way and then their life starts shifting, and it's really an amazing thing. As far as my kids, what I've done is, I must say, prior to learning the Qigong, who I am as a chiropractor and a human being is understanding that healing really comes from within. That and I like to go to its full expression of life and do it in a natural way. And so as far as my kids go, they've really been getting Qigong since conception, and that's what I call true prevention, because they started, you know, from 2 cells, and they have all this energy, and they're amazing, healthy kids. And once they were born, they started seeing Master O for the healing sessions, and they've done it every single time. I used to live down in Georgia. I now live in Connecticut, and when I lived in Georgia, I would make it a point to travel up to Connecticut to get my healing session in with Master O, and also learn all the different types of Qigong. And I'd bring my child up at the time. And now that you know, I live here in Connecticut, they see him every single time, and they really are amazing kids. Not because they're, you know, mine. They have amazing energy. They're very sensitive. They feel a lot of energy. They have really many talents. My 7-year-old, it's amazing. She's just seems to be pretty much good at everything, or a lot of things, and she understands, you know, since birth, you know, I've been doing Qigong, and, you know, she probably thinks that every human being just does that, and she asks me for energy, you know, when she doesn't feel good or something's going on, and she's, you know, Mommy, please send me energy. And you know, she's never had, the only time she's ever had medication, she once had a Tylenol when we thought she broke her arm, and we decided we'd give it to her to make her feel a little bit better. But other than that, she doesn't, you know, hasn't really been to doctors, never takes medication, very, very healthy, very smart, very focused individual. My son is amazing. He's very athletic, and he's pretty amazing as far as that goes. So I know in the morning I have to wake up really early because I do a lot of Qigongs, and they want to be, you know, on my lap. They fight for my lap. They just feel the energy, and they like it. What inspired me to learn about Pangu Shengong is, I remember my mother was doing it, but I worked with an acupuncturist named Paul Frazier, and back then, this is about 10 years ago, you know, I had a lot more going on. I wasn't as healthy. I didn't have, you know, as high energy, and so I really started, I learned the moving Qigong first, and then after a couple months when I started feeling the energy, that's why I told you earlier about that, because if you start, just keep it up, because I feel like what happened to me is my energy wasn't high enough, so it was at that time almost a little, it was a little harder to do, but once my body raised its vibration, then it just is amazing, and I do so much of it. It's, you know, I would do more if I didn't have little kids, but I guess what inspired me is just that I wanted health, and bliss is pretty nice, and I pretty much live in a state of bliss most of the time. So really what motivates me to continue doing the Pangu Shengong is how amazing I feel, how much better of a person I am. You know, all the different forms, I've become so calm in so many things in life. I like living this amazing life. You know, I know that there's a lot of stress out there, you know, from life seems to be more complicated these days, you know, and between whatever it is and money, and there's more pollution in the world, and there's more, I feel it's necessary to do Pangu Shengong for myself, so I can live in a healthy state, even though there's not total health in the rest of the world, you know, as far as even the air that we breathe and the food that we eat, and so I feel it's really necessary now to do it, and I like to live in a great, healthy, awesome, full expression state, and it's just a great way to live. I'm a really happy individual, and enjoying life, and it helps me to be a better person for my kids, for my husband, for my patients. I adjust people because I'm a chiropractor, and even that when I'm not specifically sending the energy, a lot of the people, the more sensitive people, can feel it just because I do so much Qigong. It's just kind of coming out of me, naturally. And then sometimes people are having a hard time, a little extra hard time, so I will sit them down and specifically do some energy work on them, and that's been very receptive. And it's helped lots of people. I do long distance energy healing on people, and I just did that on the other day on someone that had never had any of this, and he's almost ready to learn the Pangu Shengong now because he had a really good experience from it. Well, as far as the synergy that I see between Pangu Shengong and chiropractic is the way that I practice chiropractic is, the nervous system controls the whole body, and when we get rid of the pressure on the nerves and allow the body to function, then we can be at our fullest expression of life. And the Pangu Shengong really helps us to get there, because as it raises the vibration, then the body works better and everything functions better and everything's in more of a state of balance. So it's very similar, because I am a chiropractor to help people achieve full expression of life. And the people that do the Pangu Shengong, because a bunch of my patients do, they do better, it's actually easier, they heal faster, they're happier, their energy's better, they're more balanced. Well, as far as teaching and introducing Pangu Shengong to my patients, it would be my hope that I could do that with everybody. However, everybody's at different places and levels in their life. So when I think someone would be receptive to Pangu Shengong and they have something going on with their life, then I will talk to them about it and let them know that I do classes, and then I'd be happy to teach them, and we can figure out a time to meet. And a lot of people that I talk to about it are receptive, absolutely. And when I teach them, they really enjoy it, and then it's a matter of discipline. And I teach them in my class that I can teach you this, but now you have to go and do it. And if they keep it up enough, they'll start noticing things and shifts in their life. One of the things that I tell people, that instead of trying to have to fix something or a problem in your life, if you do the Qigong and you do the energy, then it naturally, the issue or the problem or whatever tends to dissipate, because you're bringing a different type of energy to your body. And so by raising the level in your body, then it's going to attract different things, and it just seems to have things go to disappear, so you don't have to fix things. You just raise your energy in your body. So instead of, not that you shouldn't go to this or that or therapist or whatever, but instead of that, this tends to take care of a lot of things. I plan to teach Pangu Shengong to my patients. Absolutely, it's amazing. I am a chiropractor and honestly wish that I had more time, because I love doing energy work. I love teaching people, and it's so I wish that I had more time and I could do both and everything. So but I'm always available to do the teaching, because it's really affected my life in the most amazing way. And I'm so blessed and happy and honored that I'm able to have learned this, and would love really everybody to be able to experience this and have better life, more balanced life, more blissful life. And the more people that do it, the higher energy really the world and the better state the world will become, will be in.